Find out their mintage, scarcity, or rarity level, and value in various grades. So hit subscribe button below this video and let's get started. This is 1978 Lincoln cent in circulated brown condition. Overall coin has sharply struck device elements with minimal wear on high points, and no large contact marks on either sides. At very fine condition like this, circulated pennies of this issue are worth around 18-20 cents. The 1978 P Lincoln cent is very common as mint struck over 5 billion examples. Finding one in circulation should be very easy. Examples in MS65 are also abundant in uncirculated rolls at a small premium over 1 cent. In MS66 conditions they become a little more challenging to find, but are still easily available. In MS67 conditions they are very hard to find and command a substantial premium. The most valuable specimen in mint state 67 plus fetched the sum of $4,259.38 at heritage auctions. The 1969 D nickel was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado and is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The mintage of 1969 D nickel was 128,345,000, which is considered to be high mintage for nickel. In terms of rarity, 1969 D nickel is not considered to be rare or valuable coin. However, if a 1969 D nickel is in mint condition and has not been circulated, it could be worth more than its face value to a collector. This one I'm holding is just circulated specimen worth face value, but uncirculated examples with full steps are extremely rare. To date, PCG has certified just one 1969D example with full steps designation. The 1969D Jefferson nickel in MS65 condition, which was sold for $33,600 at Stack's Powers auction. Here is 2010 D Buchanan dollar coin. Presidential dollar coin is part of presidential $1 coin program initiated by United States Mint. This program aids to honor the presidents of United States by featuring their image on circulating dollar coins. Regarding its value, the 2010 D Buchanan dollar is not considered to be particularly valuable. In general, most presidential dollar coins, including the 2010 D Buchanan coin, are worth their face value of $1 if found in circulation or spent as a regular currency. However, if you have an uncirculated or proof version of the 2000 D Buchanan dollar coin, it may carry a small premium above its face value. The coin I'm holding is 1984 S Washington Quarter. Proof coin with deep Cameo feature displaying mirror-like surfaces that contrast with frosted devices. Fields display some blemishes, so no wonder it will have an average proof condition if graded. The 1984 S proof Washington Quarter is considered common for the series. Examples can easily be obtained up to PR69 deep Cameo condition. In perfect PR70 deep Cameo conditions they are much scarcer, but lots of examples exist, making them very affordable for most serious collectors. PR70 specimens with deep Cameo are worth over $50 as for PCG's price guide. The 1973 uncirculated Kennedy $1 has the lowest mintage from the 1965 to 1976 for the circulation strike issues. According to PCGS, the 1973 $1 came well struck, and finding examples up to about MS65 condition is very easy. MS66 examples become much more difficult. With enough searching, one can be found in uncirculated rolls or mint sets. Examples in MS67 condition are very hard to find, and it is probably much easier to buy one that has already been graded. Anything grading higher than MS67 is considered rare. PCGS registered only one example of 1973 $1 so far in mint state 68, minted in Denver, which is worth today at least $11,000. This coin is displaying very vibrant nickel gray luster, particularly on reverse. I'm convinced that the first thing that will catch your eyes will be this radial haziness around the Kennedy's bust, which is actually a result of defective self-sealing card box holder. Windows were too tightly pressed against the coin while I removed it from there. So left strong trace here. Overside exhibits bold strike. Fields are clean. Here is 1983 Lincoln Cent in red condition, sharply detailed, radiating peach orange luster with slight cartwheel effect. Eye appeal is only affected by one large carbon freckle and tiny explosions that are scattered around the surfaces of obverse. Lincoln's head displays crisp strike definition. Obverse side is almost void of mentionable contact marks. Strike of reliefs is sharp, on the reverse as well. No wear is seen on high points, just slight die softness on memorial steps. In 1983, business strike pennies were struck on copper-plated zinc planchets, so they have less copper melt value as compared to previous issues. They get high value only after MS-67 with guiding price of over $70. In Mint State 68 they are worth over $500. This is 2007 Lincoln Cent in uncirculated superb gem condition. Vibrant orange surfaces displaying potent luster provides this piece with outstanding eye appeal and with obvious cartwheel effect. No overt carbon spotting or distracting contact marks are seen on either side of this magnificent 1-cent coin. Letterings and device elements are crisply struck and nicely preserved. In Mint State 66, uncirculated pennies struck in Philadelphia are worth over $15 according to PCGS price guide. They become highly elusive and valuable in Mint State 68 with guiding price of over $1,000. This is 2016 D quarter with North Dakota Theodore Roosevelt reverse. Coin is likely in AU58 condition, showing vibrant nickel gray luster. The 2016 D Theodore Roosevelt quarter is a coin issued as a part of America's Beautiful Quarters program by the United States Mint. The program features quarters with unique reverse designs representing different national parks or other sites across the country. As for its value, the 2016 D Theodore Roosevelt quarter in uncirculated condition may have some value to collectors, but its worth is typically not significantly higher than its face value of 25 cents. Uncirculated coins are those that have not been used in everyday transactions and remain in their original condition. They often have a higher level of detail and luster compared to circulated coins. Here is about uncirculated 1968 Lincoln Cent. This particular specimen is at brown condition with some pale golden luster. Fields exhibit numerous explosions of carbon spots of tiny proportions. Lincoln's head is sharp with several ticks of contact on focal areas. Main distraction is just doubling on the western rims. In terms of mintage, the 1968 Lincoln Cent had a large production run. The Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the absence of mint marks, struck over 2.9 billion coins, while the Denver Mint, represented by D mint mark, produced over 3.2 billion coins. As much, these coins are quite common and can be found in circulation or coin collections relatively easily. Regarding its values, the 1968 Lincoln Cent is generally not considered to be valuable in circulated condition. As a common coin with high mintage, it typically only holds its face value of 1 cent. However, if you have a coin in uncirculated condition or with rare variations or error, it could have some numismatic value. Here is briefly circulated 1989 P Roosevelt dime from COİN's collection. This one is also in extremely fine condition, featuring strong traces of mint luster and a needle-sharp strike. At first impression, main distraction on obverse is this pretty eye-catching post-mint scratch behind the neck of the president. Focal areas are almost void of mentionable contact marks. Reverse side displays vibrant reflectivity. Strike is bold, yet we don't see enhanced motifs on the torch. Full bands is not achieved on the torch, as you can see. The 1989 Roosevelt times are very common, as means struck over 2 billion for circulation. Anything grading higher than MS67 full bands is considered very scarce. In MS68 condition with full bands designation, they command strong premiums. For instance, this superb gem in mentioned grade ended up selling for $2,925 with buyer's fee at Great Collections auction. Here is 2001 Washington quarter with North Carolina reverse. It is in circulated extremely fine condition, displaying sharply detailed reliefs and lightly abraded fields. Several small goats are evident on the obverse side of this quarter. According to Jaime Hernandez from PCGS, most collectors should have no trouble finding a 2001P North Carolina quarter, as the US Mint struck over 627 million examples for circulation. The typical example from circulation will have some noticeable wear, but still be in uncirculated grades, with most examples still having luster. Only in MS69 grade or higher are they difficult to find. In Mint State 69 they are worth over $2,500 according to PCGS price guide. Moving on with this proof 1964 Jefferson nickel from COİN's collection, metal composition is same as on regular nickels, 75% copper, 25% nickel. Only difference is that production process is more defined, intricate and shinier. Coin is bursting with luster, strike is needle sharp, just pay attention to those enhanced details on Jefferson bust. Fields are shining like a mirror, yet no deep contrast is evident between fields and the device to get Cameo or Deep Cameo designation. Ordinary proof coins at grades like PR69 or 70 are worth between $30 to $600. Examples can easily be found in PR68 grades and lower without much effort. Even in PR69 condition, they are abundant with thousands of examples available. Only in PR69 Deep Cameo condition does it really become somewhat scarce. Thanks for watching this video. Before moving on with another video, make us happy by hitting like and subscribe buttons below. Have a nice day. Hey coin collectors, welcome back to COİN. This is 1983 Lincoln cent in MS62 red and brown condition. A penny struck on a copper planchet. Elusive transitional mint error, reminiscent of the famous 1943 copper cent. Though the zinc-plated steel cent was introduced in 1982, a small number of copper cent planchets found their way between 1983 dies. Perhaps the planchet locked in a crevice of a mint bin and was freed sometime later. An orange red and apple green example that has good strike and minor obverse abrasions. If you have rare pennies you want to sell, watch this video until the end and I'll show you where you can advertise them for free. This highly sought after error cent ended up selling for $23,500 at heritage auctions. This proof Franklin dollar was sold for huge money just a couple of days before. An exceptionally well produced and preserved example of a key date proof Franklin half-dollar issue. Untoned surfaces set off the remarkable deep cameo finish, silky smooth and virtually pristine. Even the finest collection of this popular 20th century series would be greatly enhanced by this lovely upper-end gem. The 1950 is not only the first proof half-dollar of this type, but it is also the most challenging to collect. The mintage of 51,386 proofs is the lowest in the series, and most survivors show considerable evidence of having been poorly made or carelessly handled. 1950 Franklin half-dollar in PR66 deep cameo condition. It ended up selling for $66,000 at Stack's Powers auction. Quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to our Numismatic channel yet, make sure to activate subscribe and notification buttons below this video. Thanks. Here is 1964 the Washington quarter with reverse of 1965, otherwise called Type C reverse, with intense mint luster in a smooth, satiny finish. Otherwise untoned, both sides are ringed in a partial halos of iridescent reddish gold that delivers strong eye appeal. at 704,135,528 coins struck. The 1964 D has the highest mintage in the Washington Quarters series up to that point in time. Upper-end gems are surprisingly scarce, and this is the finest example of the Type C reverse variety known to PCGS. It was bargained for $8,400 at Stack's Bowers auction. Moving on with this error, 1989 D Lincoln Cent in MS65 red condition. The remarkable aspect of this intriguing mint error is that copper planchets were last used for coinage in 1982, 7 years before that piece was struck. 7 years before this piece was struck, copper blanks in early 1980 weighed 3.11 grams and had a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. The zinc planchets used from that point through 1989 were composed of nearly pure zinc core with copper plating, for a total composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper that weighed only 2.5 grams. Perhaps the copper planchet remained hidden for years within the crevices of mint machinery or transport equipment, or perhaps the planchet supplier mixed in a copper planchet that had been set aside as a souvenir. Whatever the reason for this anomalous wrong stock error, it is likely irreplaceable. It was sold for $7,500 at heritage auctions. This is 1926S Lincoln Cent in MS64 red condition, where rare CEC approval in a full red mid-state example of this well-known condition rarity among 1920s cents. The obverse exhibit warm golden orange color that gives way to more of a pinkish rose hue on the reverse. Both sides are frosty in finish with bold strike and pleasingly smooth appearance. The 1926S is a low mintage affair by standards of Lincoln Cent series with just 4,550,000 pieces produced. It has long been regarded as semi to full key date issue in all grades, and most collectors have had to settle for a worn example either due to availability or cost. Scarce in all mint state grades in full red as here. The 1926S is a noteworthy condition rarity that's always greeted with excitement when offered through auction. Sold for $15,600 at Stack's Bowers auction. Here is 1975 Jefferson nickel in MS67 plus condition with full steps. Pastel multicolored toning encompasses each side of this remarkable registry coin. The strike is bold and preservation is superb. To determine whether 1975 nickel exhibits full steps, numismatists closely examine the steps leading up to Monticello on the reverse. Each step should exhibit distinct and fully separated lines, showing a clear definition between them. If the coin is well struck and properly preserved, it may be classified as having full steps like this one. This superb gem ended up selling for $2,820 at heritage auctions. Moving on with his 1967 Kennedy $1 from special mint set, so-called SMS half. Rated as SP68 by PCGS, powder blue, antique gold, olive grey and champagne pink iridescence are seen on both sides of this expertly preserved superb gem. Universally reflective with a full strike and virtually pristine appearance, circulating silver coinage in United States ended in 1964 with removal of all silver from the dime and quarter. However, the $1 remained silver, but only 40% silver flat instead of earlier statutory 90% fineness, a composition used through 1970. During this period there was a shortage of coins in circulation, erroneously blamed on numismatists hoarding the coins. The mint went into high gear to produce required coins and briefly discontinued proof sets. Instead they offered what they called special mint sets featuring coins struck from over-polished dies using higher tonnage presses, but without additional preparation required for proofs. This gem was bargained for $2,400 at Stack's Bowers auction. Here is 1977 S Lincoln Cent in PR70 deep Cameo condition. Condition rarely in Lincoln Memorial Series. Medium orange-red surfaces are completely free of carbon, contact or any other distraction amid the bold luster and superlative eye appeal. Most examples, the vast majority of spot, the most examples, the vast majority of spot-free, contact-free examples appear in PR69 Deep Cameo rung. This one was sold for $7,050 at heritage auctions. This is 1934 Washington quarter with double the verse, graded in mint state 66 by PCGS and certified by CAC. A fully frosted, virtually brilliant example with a bold, sharp strike throughout. The 1934 double the verse ranks as one of the most spectacular mint errors of 20th century, although it is many multiples rarer than 1955 double the verse cent. It often commands lower premiums, placing it within the reach of many Washington quarter specialists. Stanton estimates a population of just between 251 and 500 examples. Scarcely more than 10% of the examples certified by PCGS grade MS65 or higher, as this is one of the finest seen by both PCGS and CAC. It was sold for $7,800 at Stack's Powers auction. This is 1976 S silver Eisenhower dollar in mint state 68 plus, a virtually pristine beauty with subtle golden highlights to otherwise brilliant surfaces. These popular issues from one-year design type created to celebrate the United States Bicentennial in 1976. The reverse is by Dennis R. Williams and was selected in an open contest that also selected Bicentennial reverse designs of Washington quarter and Kennedy of dollar. The silver-clad 1976 S Eisenhower dollar was made exclusively for sale to collectors, and many high-grade examples have survived. It was sold for $4,320 at Stack's Powers auction. Moving on with his 1950 Washington quarter in PR68 Deep Cameo condition. The lightest silver tinting hardly denies brilliance for this captivating ultra-gem proof. Bright silver-white surfaces display outstanding contrast between mirrored fields and softly frosted motifs. The 1950 is the first proof quarter issue produced after World War II, with a relatively limited mintage of 51,386 pieces. It is scarcest issue in the modern Washington series. It was sold in June 2023 for $22,800 at Stack's Powers auction. And this is 1966 Kennedy of dollar from special mint set, graded as MS68 Deep Cameo by PCGS. Truly remarkable example of both the type and issue. Both sides are fully untoned, with bold field to device contrast, virtually pristine as well, and sure to catch the eye of the sterling Kennedy of dollar collectors. Although the mint improved the quality of 1966 SMS half-dollar issue after receiving complaints about its 1965 SMS predecessor, precious few survivors for mintage of 2,261,583 pieces exhibit enough contrast to support the Deep Cameo designation from PCGS. It was sold for $7,200 at Stack's Powers auction. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep following us on YouTube and don't forget to hit subscribe and like buttons. Have a nice day. Hey coin collectors, welcome back to COİN. This is highly sought after quarter variety 1950 Washington quarter with D/S repunched mint mark. Brilliant superb gem in MS67 condition. The smooth and lustrous surfaces are brilliant and display frosty white luster. It is expertly preserved. Specialists in Washington quarter varieties have long taken note of the strange occurrence on the branch mint issues of 1950. When one branch ordered a set of dies, the die cutter at the Philadelphia Mint took an already prepared branch mint die and simply punched in the requested mint mark. Then later the converse occurred, producing the fascinating D/S and S/D varieties. It's not known which came first, though it's well established that 1950 D/S FS601 is a rare of the two varieties in gem mint state by margin of almost 4-1. If you have such rare quarters or other coins you want to sell, watch this video until the end and I'll show you where you can advertise them for sale. This superb gem ended up selling for $22,800 at Stack's Powers auction. Quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to activate subscribe and notification buttons below this video. This is 1937 Lincoln Cent in PR67 red Cameo condition. No imagination needed here to see full Cameo effect. This coin is a real deal and then some. Immaculate mirrors beam intensely from all over. The mirrors have super clarity and are super clean. When you twirl the coin, all you see is a rolling, nearly blinding river of gem red colors. There are no spots or discoloration, however there are small patches of pure toning in microscopic form. Lincoln looks as handsome as ever. He is fully struck and has real thick frost. The eye appeal is sensational. It was sold for $24,675 at Legend Rare Coin Auctions. This is 1948 Roosevelt dime in mint state 68 with full bands, the amazing multicolored iridescence that occupies most of the obverse and the reverse border of this sharply struck superb gem helps to create the overall aesthetic appeal that makes the piece so compelling to examine. Undoubtedly, the underlying shimmering luster is another important attribute. When impeccable preservation is added, a rare marriage of technical perfection and stunning visual appeal is achieved. It was sold for $4,800 at Stack's Powers auction. This is 1929S Lincoln Cent in MS66 Plus red condition, CAC proven superb gem. The CAC label refers to Certified Acceptance Corporation, a third-party coin grading and authentication service. CAC reviews coins graded by other reputable grading companies and affixes their distinctive green sticker to coins they deem to be of exceptional quality for their assigned grade. The CAC-approved coins often command higher prices and are sought after by collectors for their added reassurance of quality. A limited satiny full red example of the San Francisco issue showing a bold strike and a beautiful preservation. A lone fleck at the lower left reverse rim serves as a pedigree marker. This gem was bargained for $18,600 at Heritage Auctions. Moving on with his 2013 D Kennedy $1 in MS68 Plus condition. The plus in this case signifies that the coin has a grade above MS68, meaning it has exceptional eye appeal and few, if any, noticeable imperfections. Coins with a plus designation are considered to be of superior quality within their respective grade range. The value of 2013 D Kennedy $1 MS68 Plus can vary depending on factors such as demand, rarity, and overall condition. Typically, coins with higher grades and exceptional eye appeal tend to command higher prices among collectors. This superb gem fetched the sum of $4,952.25 with buyer's fee at Great Collections Auction. Moving on with his 1983 P Jefferson nickel in MS66 condition with full steps, lightly toned in silver gray, both sides reveal iridescent undertones of champagne apricot, and to a lesser extent powder blue as the coin dips into a light. The 1983 P is a poorly produced 1980S nickel issue with full steps examples, surprisingly rare throughout the mint state grading scale. It ended up selling for $4,800 at Stack's Powers auction. Here is 1953 Roosevelt dime in MS67 condition with full bands. This enchanting specimen is glowing with silvery gray luster, and surfaces are void of distractions on either side. On the reverse side of the Roosevelt dime there is an image of an olive branch, a torch, and an oak branch. The torch is part of a design that's relevant to the full bands designation. The band on the torch represents a separation between the flames, and when the coin is struck, these bands should be fully visible and distinct. The full bands designation is used by grading services to indicate that the bands on the torch are fully struck and well defined. This dime was sold for $1,100.25 with buyer's fee at Great Collections Auction. This is 1941 Lincoln Cent in PR67 red condition. The watery mirrors are almost entirely copper orange with subtle rainbow iridescence at the right obverse and reverse margins. The strike is bold and the eye appeal is as impressive as the preservation. The 1941 proof cents were produced to the extent of only 21,100 pieces at a time when collectors could order their favorite denominations from the mint individually. This praiseworthy super gem red coin is certified in a green label holder, and it ended up selling for $18,400 at heritage auctions. Here is 1953 D Jefferson nickel in MS67 condition with full steps. This virtually pristine superb gem is beautifully toned in iridescent golden apricot and champagne pink. The colors blend with soft satiny mint luster that is full and expectably smooth for a signed grade. While the Denver Mint produced a respectable total of 59,878,600 nickels. As a whole, the coiners did a poor job and turned out a mostly ill-defined issue. Scarce in all mint state grades within the full steps categories, the 1953 D is an extraordinary strike and condition rarity in PCG's MS67 full steps. It was sold for $5,040 at Stack's Power's auction. This is 1942 Lincoln cent struck on experimental planchet. It is a regular Lincoln cent design struck in a white metal alloy consisting of 93% tin and 7% antimony. During the World War II, metals needed for coinage was also needed for the war effort. In 1942, U.S. government as well as private firms looked into different coinage alloys. They were tested for possible use to those ends. Everyone knows about the final product, the ubiquitous 1943 steel penny, and many have sought in change one of the copper 1943s. But for many years these rarities, which led up to the creation of the common zinc-coated steel planchets that were adopted, were overlooked by specialists, and only recently has more scholarly research been done to explain how these coins came about, as well as many different variations that go well beyond the listings in Jude. It was sold for $24,675 at Legend Rare Coin auctions. This is 1970 D Kennedy $1 in MS64 condition with DPL designation. The DPL or deep proof-like designation indicates that the coin exhibits deep proof-like surfaces. Deep-like coins have reflective surfaces similar to proof coins, which are specially minted coins with mirror-thin finish intended for collectors. The DPL designation suggests that the coin has exceptionally reflective feel and sharp details, similar to a proof coin. This super gem ended up selling for $1,137.50 with buyers for a great collection auction. This is 1959 was Wartime MS68 condition with full touch, very nicely toned, with bold, vibrant satin mint luster that brings out the olive gold, icy blue and rosy hues on both sides. The eye appeal is totally original, and even with a strong glass, it's almost impossible to find any flaws anywhere. It was sold for $5,287.50 Legend Rare Coin auctions. Here is 1969's Lincoln cent with double diverse circulated error penny in AU55 condition. This popular guidebook and cherry pickers variety was covered in mid-1970s and is one of the most remembered and arguably the rarest variety in the entire series. Strong doubling is obvious on all worst listings until date. The 1969 is double is listed number 1 among 100 greatest US modern coins. The present coin is an impressive choice US specimen, with only light rare or well-detailed design elements and lightly abraded steel brown surfaces. It was sold for $17,400 at heritage auctions. And this is 1945 D Mercury Diamond D68 with full bands designation. The 1945 D is a World War II issue that will never be rare in typical mint state. Unlike its Philadelphia counterpart, the full bands examples are plentiful, but at the MS68 level, the issue becomes an important conditional rarity. These well-struck and pristine representative exhibits dappled tobacco brown and navy blue toning properly of the reverse. Sold in June 6, 2023 for $2,880 at heritage auctions. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep following us on YouTube and don't forget to hit the like button. Coin collectors, welcome back to Coin. Today's episode features rare and valuable US coins. Starting with 1999 Lincoln Center Roosevelt reverse. Graded in mint state 66, read by PCGS. This is incredible error somehow escaped the scrutiny of Mint employees. It is uncertain how a Lincoln Cent reverse die paired with a Roosevelt dime reverse, but this coin proves that it happened. The obverse is sharply struck on the figure of Lincoln and the date. Also, the opposing dime die, being slightly smaller than cent planchet, caused minor peripheral weakness on obverse. In other words, nothing was behind the periphery of the cent die to force expanding metal into the recesses. Naturally, the slightly smaller reverse dime die caused the side to be boldly struck. This incredible error point fetched a sum of $138,000 at heritage auctions. Finding these 1974 cents is as difficult as finding a needle in a haystack. I'm sure most of you know that selling or buying aluminum cents in 1974 trial is illegal in the United States. You can ask how come this aluminum cent ended up selling for big money in auction. This is because it's a proof cent struck on a foreign aluminum coin, Nepalese paisa to be correct. It is believed unique and is likely one of only two aluminum 1974 cents legal to own. This numismatic pinnacle was bargained for $199,687.50 with buyer's fee on January 22nd, 2023 at Great Collections Auction. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to activate subscribe and notification buttons below this video. Thanks. Moving on with the wartime error penny, 1943 Lincoln Cent struck on unknown planchet. Metal composition of alloy is 91.7% copper, 7.55% zinc, and 0.8% silver, and weighs 3.08 grams. Was a legal standard for the bronze cents leading up to the change to steel in 1943 was 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. As the famous 1943 copper cents have long been understood to have been accidentally struck on leftover bronze planchets of 1942, the expected composition of such an error should match the legal standard. As given above, the composition of present planchet is not, however, an identical match. While its exact nature remains unclear, it is certainly bronze cent struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1943. At the present time, it stands unique, important, and perhaps destined to be a famous rarity in its own right. This error was bargained for $164,500 at Stack's Powers auction. Another wartime error coin, 1944 Lincoln Cent struck on leftover steel planchet, graded in mistake 64 by CGS and 4 by CCC. Bright and lustrous steel grade example with exceptional eye appeal. The surface pieces are mark-free save for a few specks seen under low magnification. The viewer will be hard-pressed to find any other blemishes of note. Like its 1943 bronze cent counterpart, the 1944 steel cent is a highly prized error that has enchanted collectors since its discovery by collector Richard Fenton in 1945. While not as well known as its famous 1943 bronze counterpart, the 1944 steel cents are still rare in ultimate sense. Nearly 30 Philadelphia 1944 steel cents are not known. It ended up selling for $158,625 at Stack's Powers auction. Here is remarkable level elimination mill. 1993 Lincoln Cent struck with dime reverse, graded in mid-65 red by CGS. US coins struck dies of different denominations are extremely rare. This lustrous gem shows the characteristics expected of a cent and a dime mill. The dime side has a broad, tall rim. Metal was forced into the collar of the dime die by the wider diameter cent die opposite. As a result, the cent side has a soft strike near the rim, since metal in vicinity flowed into the diameter. The strike of the reliefs is normal. The lustrous surfaces are pristine aside from a solitary faint gaze above the date. The color is predominantly orange with shades of fiery olive green, occasionally present. It was sold for $51,750 at heritage auctions. This is 1973 as Eisenhower dollar struck on a 22.5 gram copper clad planchet, graded in mid-67 by AGC. To the untrained eye, this coin has the appearance of a properly produced Eisenhower dollar. Indeed, both sides are fully struck with bountiful mint luster in a soft satin finish. Also, exceptionally well preserved, we note a virtually pristine appearance to toned silver-gray surfaces, while the NGC insert reports a weight as 22.5 grams. Even that does not identify the error for the official weight standard for copper nickel-clad Eisenhower dollar. For official weight standard for copper nickel-clad Eisenhower dollars is 22.68 grams. The error, and a major one, is in the finish. For while the 1973 Ike dollars would